good to be here. So, I have rather lengthy remarks. I wonder why. And it's because I'm rather older. So, I've seen it all, almost done it all. And I want to share a little of my experiences over the years in this area with you. It's an honor, privilege to be here as chairperson to reintroduce our deliberations again from Marry Right on the theme Legal Love, Recognized Rights, Rethinking Marriage Governance for a Future of Accountability, Digital Inclusion and Cultural Harmony in Ghana. It's delightful to see that there are passionate individuals gathered here today to discuss a topic that is important and fundamental to our society. Marriage is the cornerstone of communities. It's essential that we prioritize the well-being and rights of all the individuals. It's not just a love union. It is a legal union in any form, having legal implications under our pluralistic legal system in Ghana and under the jurisprudence of this country. There are complexities of the laws, regulations governing marriages. Most of them are outdated. Pressing need for reform to ensure accountability. Now we are in the era of digitalization. We need to ensure the inclusion of digital works or digital inclusion in our marriage system. The rights of spouses, particularly women, are often neglected, and it is our responsibility to address. Through this conference, let us look at the issues, and let me give you specific challenges that I am putting out as as discussion points for you. The lack of legal recognition. Many marriages, I dare say the majority of marriages, are currently void. Are currently what? Void. Voidable. Because of the legal requirements. Leaving spouses. And when we say spouses, we include men and women. As for me, I talk for women 99% of the time. But leaving them without access to very important rights and protection. This is the issue mainly with customary and Islamic marriages. It creates challenges everywhere in terms of property rights and then other marital issues. There are the challenges. We in this room need to address the issues and ensure that there is a system which works, which can address the issue of registration of marriages. The systems we have are outdated. The other priority involves then the amendment of the laws governing Ghana's marriage rights. The chairperson of our African Women Lawyers Ghana is here. It's Christine Latte. And we have done so much work since 1998 on some of these issues nationwide. And I'm sure she will tell you some of that, some of those issues. And we must recognize the fragmentation in terms of administration of the laws. As we speak, is there a system in place? Not in Accra and Kumasi. The other regions, there are 16 regions in Ghana now. Go and tell me, is there a system in place in all 16 regions for the registration of Islamic marriages? It's on paper. Find out whether it's working. And what at the local assemblies. Find out from the Ministry of Interior whether they have put into place any system to register Islamic marriages. Meanwhile, find out if the imams themselves are registered as marriage officers. Some couples are forced under the Islamic marriages when they perform the Islamic marriages, and there's no room for them, or there's no place for them to register. They register it as customary marriage. Let this conference call on the Ministry of Interior as a matter of urgency, the Ministry of Local Government, as well as the Local Government Service, to ensure that all the MMDAs in Ghana have the administrative measures for the registration of Islamic marriages and customary marriages in the country. I think it's very worrying. That makes the law more observed in its breach than in its observance. Let me also talk to you, if you don't mind, distinguished participants, about inequality in property rights, about Article 22 of our 1992 Constitution. You all know what it says. Do I need to repeat in total what Article 22.2 says? This enjoins Parliament to enact legislation ensuring rights and ensuring that spouses are given, cannot be deprived of reasonable provision when their marriage fails. I was a former Attorney General and Minister of Justice of Ghana. In that capacity in 2010, I stood very proudly. I always say it was one of the proudest days of when I was an Attorney General. I stood in Parliament and I introduced the bills, two bills. One, to amend the intestate succession law of Ghana to give more rights and a more reasonable provision of property to spouses upon death of the spouse. The other was to introduce the property rights of spouses upon dissolution of marriage bill. 2010, Kebashimene, as the guys say, Kopimene. Here we are. I'm still standing proudly. But Parliament is the one, it is the agency. And under the Constitution, not the agency, the wing to do this. The Constitution is very clear. It doesn't say this in many phrases, but it says that Parliament, as soon as practicable upon the coming into force of this Constitution, shall enact legislation. 1992. Believe me, I have seen every Speaker of Parliament personally. This is not an NDC MPP matter. I have seen every Speaker of Parliament personally. Every Speaker of Parliament has assured me, oh, don't worry, madam, it's going to be passed before the end of whoever it was, before the end of their term. Well, 15 years, we are still counting. The laws need amendment. I think Christine, our chair, will tell you of the efforts that our late Executive Director, Ms. Edna Kuma, may she rest in perfect peace, the efforts that she made to ensure that the Spousal Rights Bill was sent all over Ghana and was debated in Parliament. I shouldn't stand here and say what kind of debate that ensued, but Christine will do that for me. I can't conclude without talking about limited access to justice for women. Many individuals, but particularly women, in marginalized communities face significant challenges in accessing justice and having their rights protected. Let me also recognize and applaud the Ghanaian judiciary. Some of you might have had your cases, dealt with by them and you are on the other side. But the Ghanaian judiciary, over the last 15 years especially, has made tremendous strides forward in ensuring the advancement and ensuring the protection of women upon death of their spouses, women and men, upon death of the spouses and upon dissolution of marriage. I keep saying it. I say an aiku to the judiciary of Ghana. They have pushed the legal boundaries so far. Thank you. So I know you are going to address issues which can never be solved by one conference. The challenge of ensuring accountability in marriage governance. It's about marriage governance. And these include issues such as domestic violence, financial abuse, other forms of exploitation which result in mental health issues, which you are going to also discuss. The use of technology in family law related matters must be something that we should look at, especially in registration of marriages. My distinguished participants and speakers, the way forward, we need a multifaceted approach to address the challenges in marriage governance. And I charge you to address those. Law enforcement and reform. We need to amend the existing laws on marriage, as I have said. We need to enact new laws which should reflect the reality of today, not what we think it should be, not custom and tradition. What is happening today between spouses when they dissolve marriages, and what is happening today to spouses when their spouses die without leaving a will. Every day we are faced with horror stories, and the judiciary is also faced with horror stories. We need to amend our laws, and we're going to also talk about the rights, who has the right to the dead body. I think everybody knows my views on that. I won't impose them on you, but it's the reality of today, the horror of today that you must look at. What is happening today? The spouse working with another spouse, be a man or woman, no will, people unbeknownst to them come in, take over the property. Children are left out, and they say they are doing it in the name of tradition. I love tradition. I'm an Ashanti most of the time. I love tradition. I love my mother's people. But I will not continue traditions which have caused severe hardship and cruelty and torture to young people and to spouses. We must find a way around this, whether the customary law is part of our legal system, so therefore it is our law or not. Laws are there to be amended, whether customary or whether common law, even common law has the judiciary is able to, review common law. One other thing I will say is that we ourselves, we do not implement our laws well. I mean, if I'm to take a classic example, there are 3 laws that come to mind. If I say it, I'll be attacked. But honestly, under the domestic violence law, for example, let me go out of my comfort zone here and talk from personal experiences. A lady came to us. The case came to us after she had died. She had had a terrible relationship with the husband, and one night at 2 a.m., the police were called because she was found lying down the stairs, dead. Her husband had wanted to marry another woman because he was going to be a chief, and this lady had seen a doctor, a dentist before, a week before, because she had been punched and savaged, and her jaw, her teeth were, giving problems. And she informed the dentist that it was her spouse who did this to her. Under the domestic violence law, the doctor is obliged to report it to the police. They never do. There's a fund also where they are supposed to help victims of domestic violence. There's almost nothing in that fund at any time. All of this is to do with implementation. We need to implement the laws so that they are effective. And we also need to look at maybe the establishment of online marriage and divorce registries, see how we can manage our marriage governance systems, and how we can have effective stakeholder engagements, partnerships with civil societies, and so on, working together to form a comprehensive approach. So in conclusion, rethinking marriage governance is critical for promoting accountability, digital inclusion, and cultural harmony. That's why we are here. Critical towards our continued quest to protect the property rights of spouses, to ensure accountability, to promote cultural sensitivity, and also to have an equitable marriage system at last that benefits all individuals. Let us congratulate ourselves, and let me take this occasion, I hardly congratulate men, but I would like to congratulate the organizers of this all-important conference for their vision and resolve. To our distinguished speakers, guests, panelists, thank you. Thank you very much for offering yourselves to provide the insights to create change. And let us congratulate ourselves for being part of this movement. I want to thank you all very much for your attention. God bless you all. Thank you.